Hello and welcome to another edition of You Can Get There From Here. I'm Dr. Joe Moore, Chair of the Department of Communication and Digital Media Production at the University of Central Missouri, and it's my pleasure every week to get to sit down and visit with some of our alumni. We talk to those who graduated with degrees in digital media production, others in comm studies, some in their master's program, and even a few who graduated before DMP and comm studies got started. We'll talk about what they're doing today. We'll visit a little bit about how the program helped them get there, and we'll visit a little bit about some of their plans for the future. Today, our guest is Ryan Anderson. Ryan is the Assistant Athletic Director for Media Relations here at the University of Central Missouri. He is a graduate of the program before it was DNP. It was Broadcast Media. He stuck around, got a master's degree in athletic management, but I'll let him tell the story. Ryan, how are you this morning?
Well, I'm doing good, Joe. How's everything going with you?
Doing all right. Glad to get to have this time to sit down and visit. We get to talk every once in a while, working
Absolutely.
with athletics and stuff, but getting to bring you out to the masses, that's what we're all about here, right?
No, I'm excited to be here and sit down and chat a little bit about the DMP program here at UCM, and also a little bit about the athletic department and my role here.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's start with what got you here in the first place. What brought you to UCM, or what? Well, let's go back to high school, and then what led you to UCM at that point.
So, I came to Warrensburg originally back in 2002, in eighth grade, when my dad was hired as the head men's basketball coach here at Central Missouri. It was actually then Central Missouri State at the time. So I got here in 2002 in eighth grade, and then yourself.
We were going to make that connection.
I remember you reached out to my dad originally, I think, and then he kind of reached out to me about potentially doing some volunteer work for game days at UCM, and I think I originally started out in basketball games. If I remember correctly, I did some spotting for stats, and then football games I did participation.
Let's go a little before that. What started you on the path was I was the sports information director at the time, is what the title was called at that point, and you were copy editing my media guys every time I put one together. Here'd come this little eighth grade guy into my office saying, "Hey, I found some errors in your media guide." I'm like, "Man, this kid is really on top of things." So that's when I reached out to your dad and said, "Okay, if he's going to be this closely connected, let's get him to work."
Absolutely. No, but it's something that I immediately caught interest in. And obviously I've been around sports my entire life. My dad being a basketball coach, but I would say once I started working in game days, I was hooked. I love statistics. I love being around college athletics in particular. So I went through high school and did a lot of volunteer work with UCM at the time, UCM athletics and sports information. And then once I graduated high school in 2007 at Warrensburg High, I obviously I wanted to go to wanted to stay close to home. I love the Warrensburg community, so Central Missouri was a natural fit for me, and I'd obviously been around the communications program at UCM, and I had seen how great it is, so it was a natural fit for me. And I actually also worked in broadcasting for a number of years over at D&H Media at the time with Greg Hassler and Vance Delosier. I did a little bit of radio announcing for Warrensburg High School boys and girls basketball. And then also did a little bit of board operating, a little technical behind the scenes stuff for Warrensburg High School football. Once I, working in the broadcast industry, it was just a natural fit for me. Start pursuing a communications degree at Central Missouri.
Yeah, and originally your plan wasn't to go into athletic media relations, right? Because you studied broadcast media. I remember you took a sports reporting class with me. I think you took another journalism class, and I thought, I don't know if this kid wants to go into broadcasting or not, because he's a heck of a writer. And so I didn't know which route you were going to go, but that wasn't the original plan, right?
No, Originally, yeah, I was looking to get into a broadcasting career, and I originally was looking to get into radio. But after I saw just how much I enjoyed writing in particular, and how much I enjoyed being around college athletics, in particular, you know, Division II. Even though we'll get to this in a little while, but did end up going to Division I for a few years. But it's just something that called me, and it's something that I thought, hey, I could probably make a career out of this. So that's kind of what kind of my backstory, I guess.
Yeah, let's jump from your time here at UCM and then what brought you back to UCM. So talk a little bit about where you were in the professional realm.
Absolutely. So I served actually as a graduate assistant in athletic media relations here at UCM from 2011 to 2013. And then once I got my master's degree in 2013, it was in sport management. I got my first full-time job actually as an athletic communications assistant at North Dakota State University, which
You
is
just won their
up in
10th national championship.
Yes, yep, I believe their 10th national title in 14 seasons in football.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so I got a job there in 2013 and up in Fargo, North Dakota. And for those of you that don't know a lot about Fargo, it's a great city. The summers are great. The winters are not fun. Very cold, a lot of snow most of the time. But anyways, so I worked in Fargo at NDSU from 2013 to 2018. And then in 2018, I had an opportunity to take a job at Wichita State University down in Wichita, Kansas. And that was an opportunity that I really couldn't pass up. Fargo was great to me, but it was time for me to get closer to home and closer to my family. So I took that job at Wichita State. And there I was an athletic communications assistant as well. Worked primarily with their volleyball and their baseball teams, since they do not have football at WSU. And then I also assisted with their men's basketball program, which has traditionally been very, very good. Anyways, so I was there from 18 to 21. And then the head position here at Central Missouri opened back up. And I immediately said, I want to go back to Warrensburg. I said, that's something I've always wanted to do. I always had an interest in coming back to UCM and serving as at the time, the media relations director, I believe. So anyways, that job opened back up. I visited with, at the time, the late Jerry Hughes, athletic director here, longtime athletic director, and then Jeff Mason. From there, the rest, I guess the old saying goes, the rest was history from there. I came back here and I started in the fall of 2021, and I'm back here in Warrensburg now.
Who says you can't go home, right?
Exactly.
So for those who don't know what an athletic media relations director is, again, it used to be called the Sports Information Director. National organization was the College Sports Information Directors of America. And now it's the College Sports Communicators, I believe, is the new title. Take us through that. What does the job entail, and what does a typical day look like?
Oh boy. Well, really, there's not a day I guess you could say there's really never a typical day in this job, just because so much changes from day to day. But, primarily, I like to think of myself as well as my staff as, the liaison between Central Missouri's 17 varsity sports teams and the general public. We are tasked with communicating to the general public and getting UCM Athletics story out to them and getting their message out to them. And that also entails providing game day operation services, like coordinating statistics, coordinating interviews, student athletes, coaches, and then also record keeping of historical records. This day and age, a lot of us is focused around the upkeep and maintenance of our website, ucmathletics.com, and then also working closely with our conference, the MIAA, and then NCAA Division II as a whole. And then, there's so many things, updating record books, producing game programs, doing writing recaps, game previews. That's kind of just a general synopsis of the job. I know I'm missing, I know I'm missing other things, but those are kind of the main points.
Yeah, I used to have people tell me, so you get paid to go to ball games. I was like, yeah, yeah, that's what it
Mm-hmm.
is. I mean, yes, I get paid to go to
Oh yeah,
ball games, but there's a
it's
whole lot going on behind the scenes that nobody ever knows. And I had an
yes,
athletic director tell me one time that if anybody knows who you are, you're not doing your job well because your job is to
exactly.
put everybody else out there in the forefront.
Yep, that is exactly correct.
What's your favorite part of the job?
My favorite part of the job, honestly, is working with great coaches, student athletes, and staff from day in and day out, and especially getting to see our student athletes and coaches have success. One of the most rewarding parts of my job is getting to see one of our teams raise a trophy. Be a conference championship, regional championship, national championship. That never gets old in this profession. And we've got a lot of great people here at UCM Athletics. Be it coaches and student athletes and staff. So, being able to be a part of their success, I would say that's the most rewarding part of the job. And also being able to tell their story. You know, as I keep harping on. There's a lot of great people here. In this department. So, just being able to share their story, and not a lot of people kind of think of Division II. So, being able to promote Division II as a whole, and showing people that, just the quality of athlete, as well as, coaches and, athletic programs, in particular UCM, that's probably the most rewarding part to me. Just being able to see them succeed.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a taxing job. I remember 60, 70 hour weeks, 2 or 3 nights a week, every
Mm-hmm.
weekend. Not every week's like that, but there are a lot of weeks like that. So what drives you? What motivates you? What keeps you going in and doing this job?
I would just say, I just go back to, seeing people succeed, and, getting to, you know, put forth my best effort, day in and day out, and being able to, serve my alma mater. Obviously, being a UCM alum, this place is special to me. So, I think that's my main motivating factor is just to, continue to raise the department and elevate it to the next level. And I have to give a huge shout out to my staff, Jason Katz, who's been my assistant now
Another of our
for a number
alumni?
of years. Yep, another alumni, and then Jason Orr, who is my new graduate assistant this year, who's also a
Another
DMD
alumni?
alum. So, I have to give a huge shout out to them because what they do and what I mean, they're phenomenal. And they help me so much, and I wouldn't be who I am without my staff. So, I can't thank them enough for all they do.
There's that humility I always loved about Ryan Anderson. So what's the
So,
future hold for Ryan Anderson? Are you any designs on being athletic director, desire to go back up to Division I? Or are you pretty happy where you are and you're just going to keep plugging along here and promoting the meals and jennies?
Joe, for now, I'm fine here. I'm pretty happy here at UCM. So, we'll see what the future holds. But for now, I'm just, I'm trying to do the best I can here as, the assistant AD for athletic communications, and, continue to promote the meals and jennies.
Excellent. Well, we're glad that you're here. We're glad that you're going to stick around for at least a little while, hopefully for a long while. And I'm glad we got to be a part of getting you where you are because you're doing a great job. I love reading your stuff and seeing you on game days. Whenever I'm at a game, seeing you working, I feel a little bit of pride coming out of that. So
Well,
before I let you go, got to ask you a couple last questions. We might have future people who want to get into sports information, athletic media relations. We might have students who aren't even here yet, who might not have even known this was a job. What advice would you give to a current UCM student studying communication? What advice would you give to somebody who's thinking about coming to UCM to study?
both great questions. As far as a current student, don't be afraid to reach out. Especially, if you want to get your foot in the door, send me an email. I'm always more than happy to, answer any questions you may have. If you want to come by and see me, I'm over at the Jerry M. Hughes Athletic Center. So drop on by. If you have any questions, there's always going to be a chance to at least volunteer, on game days, and just because we have so much going on here at UCM Athletics. But like I said, for current students, don't be like I said, don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions. And then for potentially future students, just I would say also, take a visit to campus. Come to a game day. I know Joe, you had several students actually, especially during football that
Yep.
you brought by to kind of get a glance at the digital media production program. So I think being able to get your foot on campus and kind of take I guess you could say a mini tour. I would definitely say that's definitely key to if you want to get into Central Missouri and in particular broadcasting, and if you want to get into media relations or athletic communications, it's also something don't ever hesitate to reach out. Part of my job, I'm here to help, and I'm here, I'm more than happy to accommodate people as much I can.
Well, I'm going to make a little plug for the profession because I think it's one that a lot of people who want to get into sport communication don't really know about. They do a little research and they're going to find out, like I said, it can be taxing when the school year's going on. You got a lot of games going on. It can be a lot of hours, a lot of nights, a lot of weekends. Not the most lucrative job in the world. You can make a comfortable living at it. You're not going to get rich and live in a mansion, but you're going to be able to take care of your family and live comfortably. You also get an awful lot of perks. Because in my time in the profession, we went to Mexico, we went to Puerto Rico, we went to Las Vegas. Jenny's went to Hawaii this year. Teams have gone overseas to compete. You never got to buy clothes because there's always swag coming your way. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a great profession. I loved it, loved my time in it. Ryan, I'm glad you've taken on the mantle and you're carrying on the tradition of athletic media relations directors here at UCM. Thanks for being on today. I'm proud of you. I love seeing you at work. I love seeing you and Jason. And before then, Brinkley Beaver was a graduate assistant who was one of our graduates. So
Mm-hmm.
you all are doing a great job. Keep it up.
All right. Well, thank you, Joe. And I got to give a shout out to you, man. You're part of the reason I'm in this business. So I can't thank you enough for your support throughout the years. I love working with you, and I love working with the DMP department. In particular, I have to give a shout out to Darren Plummer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I love working with DMP and communications. And like I said, I love being a mule. So looking forward to the future, and yeah. Been great having you. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. It's been a great partnership. Let's keep it up.
Absolutely, Joe.
All right. Take care, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Have a good one.
You too. Hey, and thanks all of you for tuning in today. Remember, you can catch every episode on our YouTube channel through the UCM Media Network. That's youtube.com/UCMMN. You can also listen on Spotify. Special thanks to Jake Mager for creating our theme music for us. Again, this is Dr. Joe Moore reminding you, you can get there from here. Have a great day.